Dun, dun, dun.
Hi, I'm Greg. I'm the lead singer for Lipstick.
And I'm still Steve, the bassist.
And welcome to the Lipstick panel.
Welcome.
Today on the Lipstick panel, we are ranking the 4 new songs on the Kiss compilation album Killers. So Steve only had to listen to 4 Kiss songs this week.
It was pretty delightful.
It was like, this is the perfect amount of Kiss, an EP. This is what the band should stick to. Because when I think of bands best known for EPs, it's large arena rock bands.
Yep.
We have Mr. Darren Williams joining us to talk about the 4 new songs on the Kiss compilation album Killers. Darren, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. I'm glad to be here. And let me just jump in real quickly, because you just said that you're still the drummer. That's important for this album, but I won't say anything more right now.
Did I say I'm the drummer?
I thought you said you were the bassist.
I think I said I'm the bassist,
did.
but
The dog was on me. I didn't know.
Yeah, we have also Carter the dog here in the background.
Carter the dog, special guest. Carter, do you have anything to say? Nope, he's just going to keep licking where his testicles used to be.
So, was that the drop you wanted, the applause?
Yeah, we want to applaud the dog because he's a good boy.
Fair enough.
He's not really.
So, Darren and I both had different versions of the CD. He had the Japanese import copy with Escape from the Island as one of the tracks, so something from The Elder. Ironically, this album was made specifically because of The Elder and how it didn't sell well, and the record company was like, hey Kiss, we don't want all your fans to think you suck now. You need to record 4 rock songs immediately. And they admittedly said it was a struggle coming up with new material and getting back into the swing of rocking after a, prog concept album. And so Paul Stanley has said some of the songwriting felt forced and wasn't his best material. But we'll leave that to the panel to decide. We'll briefly go with our histories with Kiss and the album. This was actually one of the first Kiss CDs that I bought with my own money. Saw it at FYE back when that store still existed. And I was like, wait, they have Killers?
Oh, I remember!
Right? And I saw, they have Killers? This is a German import. It even has the German Kiss logo with the backwards Z's. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'll get it. It wasn't on a high priority list for me to get Killers before other Kiss albums. But I'm like, shoot, German import right there for $10. I guess I might as well pick it up. Carter, too, was excited about the album.
He was like, I wasn't born yet when this came out.
My first introduction to the songs on Killers was I heard Partners in Crime. What was that, Carter?
He said, a jingle of a dog's collar would be good right here.
Right. So my first introduction to the album was I heard Partners in Crime on a Kiss podcast called The Kiss Podcast back when I was in high school. And so...
Back when there was only one Kiss podcast.
Back when there was only one as opposed to 30. And I was...
Hey, the other 29 of you.
What's up, dudes?
Most of you are pretty cool.
Yeah, most of you.
Most of you.
Yeah, there's 28 cool other Kiss podcasts.
We got our eyes on you, Kisstorians. I just made that one up, but I assume it's a real podcast.
It probably is a real one. We probably have another feud now. But heard Partners in Crime on a Kiss podcast and thought, it was a pretty cool song, and was excited to pick it up because I didn't own Dynasty yet, and it had Sure Know Something, my favorite Kiss song. So it was an enjoyable compilation to pick up, and I enjoyed the new material. Don't want to get too much into it. I'll let the other guests go. Darren, what's your experience with Kiss and this particular compilation?
Oh, well, I was a fan of The Elder. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't know what you guys thought about that out
that's
there.
my favorite Kiss album.
We haven't released that episode yet, but yeah,
I love it.
I think we are generally positive about it.
Yeah, it's coming out. The day we're recording this is the day the Elder episode is coming out.
Okay. Well, I was excited about my version since there was a couple versions, and mine had Escape from the Island on there, and it just made me feel good about it.
I mean, the Escape from the Island is a great rocker.
It is.
And in isolation doesn't sound very weird.
But when I listen to this album, it's sort of like an insight into Paul Stanley's seductive one night stands. You know, there's like four wonderful brand new songs about an evening with Paul.
Yeah, it's true. Gene did not contribute a single track to this compilation or any new material. It was Paul Stanley doing all the heavy lifting.
Gene was too busy actually having sex with groupies, not just writing songs about it like a nerd.
Right. Steve, what was your experience with Killers?
I mean, if you don't know my history with Kiss by now, this is probably the first episode that you're listening to, so welcome to the Kiss panel, and we hope you're having a great time like we are. I listened to this album for the first time ever this week. And by this album, I mean the 4 new tracks.
Right. Steve is not a Kiss fan. He's going through the discography in order to take a deep dive into the psyche of his friend Greg. Like, how did Greg get to the point where he is today?
What is wrong with Greg?
How? And, I think the more he listens to Kiss, the more my psyche makes sense to him.
Deep dives into psyches.
Oh, that was a very good utilization of that drop. It's very relevant and made sense.
I've been, we don't do a Nightmare on Elm Street episode yet, so I had to get that in somewhere.
I actually dated the girl from the jump rope scene in Nightmare on Elm Street, the original movie.
Nice.
Like 1, 2, Freddy's after you. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
I thought you were going to say you dated Freddy, and I was a little disappointed with how that story ended. I forget the dude's name.
Nails are too long. Freddy Krueger.
No, there's the actor who plays him. Like he seems to be a very charming gentleman who has a good sense of humor and good comedic timing and whatnot.
That seems like a swell fella. So one of the things I love about this album is that if you just look at the cover, especially the German version, this definitely looks like a knockoff bootleg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that does.
It did. I thought that when I saw it too.
Just like with those German like S's, it doesn't look like the logo you're familiar with. And plus Eric Carr's makeup, not being Peter Criss, it just looks like they got the makeup wrong. So the purple headband, this looks like a European ripoff version of Kiss, which is kind of fun that this is an official release.
Was that a common thing? When did this come out? In like 1982 or something?
This was, I believe, 81. No, this would be 82, I believe. Yeah.
But I mean, you look at the cover and it's all pink, which is awesome.
I mean, I'm all about this.
I know you are.
This is Kiss in their Elder Era outfits with a pink upside down triangle. I'm all about this. That purple headband, Gene with his chainmail and his short hair. This is fantastic.
That Weezer song was about this album, right?
Which one?
Pink Triangle?
I mean, hey, multiple songs about Kiss. Who knows? Who knows?
You know that one. Computer class covered it.
Oh, yeah, that is... yes, it's about this album cover. 100%.
I'm dumb. She's a lesbian. It's about Kiss.
Of course.
But where does Shandy come in all this? I mean, he's double dipped on her with this. Made me want to
Was
go out
Shandy
with it.
on your version?
Yes.
Shandy is not on this version.
Oh.
Yeah, it's... The Germans, they don't care about Shandy or Escape from the Island, apparently.
I mean, to be fair, the Germans have real beer.
They do. Okay.
But so you guys ready to get...
Oh, I just stayed at an Airbnb, and these German soccer players had come over, and the lady, the host, she offered beer, and they just looked at her, and they just wouldn't even look at it because it's like water to them. So yeah, Germans feel they have better beer.
I don't drink, so,
Well,
I don't have
Only
much to
whiskey.
say. Only whiskey. Actually, that's true. I'm a weird individual.
And the Germans aren't known for having better whiskey than Kentucky.
All right. Well, are you guys ready to get into this rank? And I have a feeling this is
Okay.
going to be a short episode, so feel free to tangent about as much as possible.
oh, I could rant. But no, go on.
All right.
Do we need to get to one of the songs before you rant?
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So, only 4 songs on this album, or only 4 new tracks, and this is a 3-person panel. So basically, there were a couple of ties.
A couple of ties means all the songs were tied.
No, there were ties.
Or there was a 3-way tie.
There was a tie for the bottom 2 and a tie for the top 2.
That means all the songs were tied with something.
But yeah, so all the songs were tied with something. But also on top of that, the rules for our panel is typically if there is a tie, whichever one has more low votes is the loser. So if there's like a bunch of ones in a tie, like people voting it as their last place song, that one is the loser of the tie. However, this is the first time in the history of the podcast where the two songs, the bottom two songs, tied exactly in terms of votes. There is a 1, 2, and a 3 for the bottom two songs, so I had to flip a coin, heads or tails, based upon the song title. So, Down on Your Knees was heads, and Partners in Crime was tails. To decide to decide which one won. So we did the coin toss off camera. But in the end,
off camera, as if we're filming ourselves sitting around in my living room.
Right. But in the end, Butts won. So Down on Your Knees is the least best song on Killers, according to the panel and a coin flip.
According to this panel of illustrious experts and a guitar pick.
Right.
Because who use coins anymore?
So, Down on Your Knees, I think this is the epitome of a stock song, where there are a lot of Kiss songs that reference getting down on your knees, and then it's like, let's just write a song called Down on Your Knees. But of all the songs on the album, this is the one that feels like it's trying too hard. Like, are you ready to rock? Because we are trying desperately to reclaim that energy.
Are you ready to rock? Because we are contractually obligated to rock for upwards of 2 hours.
And then it makes me really think, though, that they might have had a bet. Let's see if we can make a title of the song and then still put a lyric of the same thing in another one of the songs on the same album to really plug it. It had to have been a joke.
Down on Your Knees, to me, it just feels like a stock Kiss song. Like if you were given a homework assignment in your songwriting class, like write a generic Kiss song, this would be what you'd come up with.
Yeah, that sounds like a good summary of it.
Like there's so many stock Kiss-isms throughout the song. Are you ready to rock? Oh yeah, girl, get down on your knees for me. And
is this the one where does he refer to his love in this one?
You know, I've got the lyric booklet right here with some hilarious mistranslations because it's the German version.
Nice.
Let's see. Down on Your Knees. What line were you asking about?
My love.
I haven't gotten there yet. Are you ready to run? Babe, she saw me coming for miles. That's
It's a disturbing image.
Yeah, coming for miles. Oof. Yeah, you know, whatever. The lyrics in this song don't matter. This is stock Kiss. I think I voted this as my last place song on the album. It's just the most interesting thing about this song is the production, because this is the only set of Kiss recordings that sounds like this, in that there was that like early 80s rock sound before hair metal really took over, where you had bands like Survivor and The Cars with like that kind of flimsier guitar tone. So this is the only album where Kiss has that sound, and it's interesting in that respect, but otherwise, really nothing to say much about this song.
Well, he doesn't say that he loves her. He says, she's all right because she's all I got tonight.
Yeah. Well, because that's the common thing in a lot of Kiss lyrics is like there's lots of lyrics that are, you know, my love is too much for you to handle, and all the girls are talking about my love on various BBSs, where, you know, it's just a euphemism for his penis.
Mm.
But not in this one.
No, I don't think so much in this one. This is just like, you know, it's Paul Stanley, so he tends to be a little bit classier than Gene overall.
Does he reference my love anywhere? I.e., my penis.
Does he reference, let's see, love? Let's see.
Way of feeling.
I don't see the word, tonight the loving's on me.
The loving's on me is not, I got love for this girl.
Yeah, so.
And it's like right now it says, she's all right because she's all I got tonight.
I mean, the loving's on me. You know, I guess it means that it's attached to him.
Right?
My penis is on me. Just in case you were confused about how that might work, girl.
Man, this song is like, nothing interesting about it. I think that's the problem with it. This is so stock. You can tell they were struggling to come up with material with this song.
I mean, he repeats, like, she's all right. And she's all right because she's all I got tonight. She's all right, and she's eager to please. It's like, well, we were just writing an all right song,
The song's all right. It's eager to please. Not good at it.
So here's my
but
question.
It's trying.
If the loving's on him and she's down on her knees, isn't she the one putting in the work?
I'm suspecting that Paul doesn't want you to overanalyze those lyrics all that much. He probably doesn't really want you to think like, these are the exact mechanics of how the two of us are doing it. It's just like, sex is happening, and here's some references to that occasion.
Yeah, I think I'm done. I don't know if I have anything more to say about this one.
The only thing he says about love is this is love in the first degree. So if this is his version of love, she's all right.
First degree
and this
lovin'.
is love in the first degree.
What I meant to say was,
All right, I'm done talking about this crappy song.
Yeah, it's a fair use of the drop. Let's move on.
Thank you.
So like I said, this was tied. Down on Your Knees was heads, but Partners in Crime was tails. The next song on our ranking, Partners in Crime.
I always feel like I vote the opposite of you guys sometimes. I don't know.
I ranked this one at the bottom.
I
put up with Partners in Crime.
This one I have nostalgia for because, like I said, I heard it on that Kiss podcast, and to me, it was a Kiss song I hadn't heard before, and so that was exciting, and it's interesting in a few different ways. I think musically, even though it's slow, it does have a nice groove and swagger to it.
Mm-hmm.
It is interesting that this is Kiss specifically singing about interracial love. This is very specifically making love to a black woman in this song.
Making love?
I mean, having an affair with a black woman in this song.
That isn't their first song, though, right? Wasn't that was Black Diamond about having sex with a black woman, or just like...
It was about a prostitute who happens to be black. It wasn't specifically saying you're having sex with her. It was more about just the narrative of her life. So,
I like the Freudian slip you had in there.
well, I'm sorry.
Where you got the vowel wrong, and like the narrative of her life came out as the narrative of whore life.
Oof. All right. But back to Partners in Crime.
Are you a swerf, Greg?
Am I a what?
A swerf?
I don't know what that is.
Sex worker exclusive feminist? Almost said swex worker.
I don't know what that means.
It's like a turf, but you don't like prostitutes instead of transgender people.
I don't know what it. No, I'm fine. I'm fine with all walks of life. I just want all humans to be happy and not hurt each other. So, moving on from that tangent.
I should not have painted you into that corner. That was a bad direction to go.
Yeah.
That might be a good whole section to edit it out. Sorry.
Nah, whatever. I'll leave it in.
All right, fair enough.
So here is what, speaking of questionable moral choices, what's interesting about Partners in Crime is that the song is about an affair, but this song shows the affair as being something fun. Like, yeah, we're having a great time cheating on, our significant others. I'm not used to seeing that kind of lyrical content.
They're like the Bonnie and Clyde of sex.
But he's using this as like, I'm a beautiful excuse in the fact that she's being beat up at home. Your body's covered in bruises.
Right.
Right? So it's like, I'm the beautiful escape.
That's so terrible.
Yeah, no,
Girl, I know you're going home to an abusive relationship, but
at least you got my dick.
My dick will make it better for a few hours.
So
you're not getting out of that situation, but at least you're getting good loving somewhere.
And they're throwing it in like again, but you'll come over here from time after time, you'll go down on your knees. I mean, this has got to be like the running.
Perhaps this is
joke.
a mini concept album. There's a narrative going on here.
I'm going to labor under the assumption that Paul Stanley's character in this relationship is probably also not a great guy. And, he may not be hitting her, but he's definitely emotionally and, abusing her.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
Great job, Paul.
Yeah.
You're a classy stand-up dude. Standing up that much taller in those platform shoes.
But, you know, maybe part of the reason I rank this above Down on Your Knees is because at least there's something interesting to dive into lyrically. Down on Your Knees is just stock, generic Kiss. At least this, you're questioning whether or not Paul is psychologically abusing this girl.
That's true. That is a much better, a much more, not better, but a much more interesting story and narrative to explore in a song.
Yeah, so I think just because it's more interesting is why I rank it above Down on Your Knees. Like, there's just at least more to dive into. And once again, that production, I think, shines the most on this track in particular. This is the one where I think that cheesy early 80s production really benefits the material with this song.
Which is why I had ranked it a little higher. So I agree with what you're saying right there.
It was neck and neck with another song for me, which I ranked above it just on the car ride over. I had my internal ranking for a while, but I gave it one last listen right before coming here. I'm like, all right, Partners in Crime, I'm going to put you just a notch below this song, but it was very close. And speaking of close things, we're up to our next tie because there's only 4 songs.
Tie Part 2.
Tie Part 2.
The sequel.
So these are our ties for first place, but we did have a clear loser in that tie because someone voted this song as the last place song on the album. We've got I'm a Legend Tonight coming in as the second best new song on Killers. Steve, you and I both voted this as the best song on Killers.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God.
Darren ruining everything.
I thought this was surefire victory because, like, man, Steve and I both voting it as the number 1 song. The only way this could not work is if Darren voted it as the least best song.
You know,
How is Down on Your Knees better than this?
maybe the drumming was better on that. But for me, listen, what I'm thinking of when you're talking about things being polished, 3/4 of the way of the song starts to get a little bit better when the other members start singing and having their vocals in there too. And this at the very beginning, Paul really is. It just seems like he's struggling so hard to try to get this song.
See, I think he nails it. This song is, I think, the best executed song on the album. I think it's an underrated song in the catalog overall. This is Paul Stanley doing like a very blue-collar working man song, which he doesn't often do. But this is like, girl, I've been working at my job, and now I'm coming home, we're going to have sex, and everything's going to be better. That is the song, and the idea is, I am a loser in my day-to-day life. But when I'm alone with my woman, I'm a legend because I am that good with my dick.
And I get that. And I get that that's where he's coming from. And that's his personality. And that's the storyline for all 4 songs right here, really.
Maybe it is really a mini rock opera. Like, the Paul Stanley's character in the first track is the abusive husband coming home from a long day of work. Again, with Kiss directly attacking their fans. Like, you're a bunch of man children. Also, you're abusive blue-collar bros.
But, you know, on top of that, I think it's got a good guitar riff. I think it's unique in the catalog. It's a little bit more dissonant than what they usually do. Driving bass line. I think the vocal arrangement on the chorus is very interesting. Good solo. And lots of good hooks. And also, the fact that the lyric booklet is so incorrect is another part of the charm, where instead of, I gotta keep on going, believing in 5 o'clock, aka the end of the workday, this lyric booklet that I'm holding in my hand says, but I gotta keep on going, believing in Bible crop.
Sorry.
Yeah. That's a thing in the throat of some birds where they'll swallow Bibles to help them digest their food because they don't produce enough stomach acids.
Yeah, so that's another positive point for this song.
It's educational, teaching you about ornithology.
But yeah, great Eric Carr drumming, great vocal from Paul, good hooks, and also a nice left turn musically for the band, where it wasn't them just repeating the past, it was taking some of the weird experimentation of The Elder, but doing it in a pop rock setting, and I think it worked very well.
I did notice a little bit of The Elder in it.
Yeah, so Steve, you ranked this as the highest of these 4. What did you think of it?
To be fair, this was a fairly middle of the road song to me. This is one of those ones that I put it on and was like, yep, this sounds like this would be right at home in basically everything prior to The Elder. It 100% makes sense that they said people hated The Elder, let's show that we can still rock, and then they did this song. So sure, it's cool, it's fine. It's just that I kind of didn't like any of the other three.
Well, there you have it. I don't know what more you can say about it.
Well, other than the fact that I was very thankful for Cold Gin to finally pop in. And that had nothing to do really with other than being an added filler song for this EP.
I find myself, when I listen to Killers, I basically only listen to the 4 new tracks and Sure Know Something. Sometimes I'll listen to Shout Out Loud and Love Gun, but that's basically the only tracks I listen to when I pop in Killers specifically. If I want to listen to the other songs, I usually just listen to other albums. But when, this is an album where I'm utilizing the skip button quite a bit.
Whereas if I want to listen to Killers,
You listen to Iron
I
Maiden?
listen to some Brandon Flowers, whatever, however you pronounce his name.
Alright, so before we get to the number 1 song on the album, let's go through the list again. Coming in as the least best new song on Killers, we have Down on Your Knees, followed by Partners in Crime, and then I'm a Legend Tonight. But the best track on Killers, and a surprise upset, Sure Know Something, still the best song on the album.
Wait, hold on. Try that again.
The best song on the album is definitely Sure Know Something. Great song. I might have rigged the vote. Sure Know
I
Something
love that
wins.
song, actually.
What a great
That was
song.
one of my
Sure Know
favorites
Something
off of
wins
Dynasty.
another episode. That is how great that song is. It can't be beaten. But right beneath Sure Know Something, according to this panel, is Nowhere to Run.
Nowhere to Run.
Mainly due to math. Because you voted I'm a Legend Tonight as last place. If you hadn't voted I'm a Legend Tonight as last place, it would have won.
Did you say mainly due to the meth?
Mainly due to math.
Yes, science, bitch.
I love how badly you edited that drop too.
I didn't edit that drop. That's the way I found it.
Okay, whoever you found it from edited it very badly. It was like loud volume, quiet.
All right, so Nowhere to Run. This is considered by many Kiss fans to be one of their best songs. Hardcore Kiss fans have really gravitated towards this song and consider it to be a brilliant lost classic. And I think the main reason for that is because Paul is pure sincerity on this. This is another one of those songs that is not Paul singing as a character, but Paul digging from personal experience and a breakup he was going through at the time.
Are you sure it doesn't fit the storyline?
Well, it does fit the storyline in addition to that, but this specifically, Paul has gone on record about who he broke up with at the time, how it affected him. Like, the other 3 are Paul trying really hard to rock. This is Paul just bearing his soul out on a record. And I get it. I get where he's emotional. But man, I'm a Legend Tonight is just way more fun. This one sounds a lot like The Elder in terms of arrangement. Very operatic chorus and, the acoustic and electric interplay. But I think this is one of the songs where the production hurt it because the Killers' production is a little bit lackluster. This song could have sounded much more grand and epic and has a lot of Steinman-esque qualities to it in terms of the way it was written, but the way it was recorded and Paul's vocal, while good, doesn't give it the energy and oomph to move it on to that next level. I get what he was going for and I get the emotion behind it, but it's not truly captured on the recording where, when listening to it on the car ride over here, I got it and I understood every piece of the puzzle is there and it's well done. So I ranked it slightly above Partners in Crime, just a hair above it. But yeah, in my opinion, not as good as I'm a Legend Tonight.
So it's got some of that Steinman production, but not quite that same sense of Steinman.
Groaning with greasy pleasure.
Yes, exactly.
I thought this song actually had a lot of potential when I listened to it. It had a really good build up towards the chorus, and it sounded like it was gonna be a really great chorus that followed on the heels of that great build. But when it actually got there, it was disappointing and bland.
If you want to say disappointing and bland, I would say that maybe later on in their career they made Tears Are Falling probably from this song and like repolished it back up, make it better.
Oh,
What it
there
could
you
have
go.
been.
And you know that, hey, that's a good thing to do. If you have an obscure song that doesn't quite work, and then you can figure out how to remake it later and turn it into a hit, do it. No
So-
shame in that.
So as a northerner, I would describe this song as grits. It was relevant. We just had brunch. Like grits are one of those things that like people, Southerners, build it up like, oh yeah, grits. Those are the thing we eat in the South all the time. And you hear about it and you never try it because you live up north. And then you come down, and you're like, oh yeah, let's have grits, and it's porridge.
Yeah.
It's just oatmeal, but with corn instead of oatmeal. So you're like, oh, this tastes just like regular oatmeal, except for the fact that it's bad for my cholesterol.
Right.
There's going to be a lot of background noise because there's a thunderstorm, it turns out.
Right? Yeah, it's a pretty bad one.
If this episode suddenly cuts off in the middle, it's because we all died and were blown away to Oz.
Right. Or because we just couldn't be bothered to care about the 4 new songs on this album, whichever is more believable.
Well, we have the album with us, so we'll get Elsaba, or whatever her name is, as the guest for this episode.
But yeah, that is...
Understood that reference.
I did understand that reference because, you know, Idina Menzel, she's my girl.
Did I pronounce her name even remotely correctly? Elphaba?
Close enough for rock and roll.
Close enough for rock and roll.
Yeah, I think our reaction to this is about as excited as you can get. Like, we're always like, yeah, meh. That's...
I'm sorry, because I mean, I'm excited about the band Kiss itself, but this is like one of those albums where I go, well, I'm a Kiss fan, so I'm just got this stuff dumped on me, and I'm like, I have to like it because I like Kiss. But I don't necessarily feel that, right? I just feel like, man, I really wish I didn't have to hear those things. And then when I came into Cold Gin for me on the album, it's like, oh, thank God, you know?
Oh, there's songs that are good on this one.
I mean, there's a lot of people that don't even know that this one exists. This wasn't remastered with the other remasters in the catalog. Like, I just happened to find a version at FYE, and, you know, people just randomly get their hands on it. You know, these songs I think are kind of forgotten for a reason. I think I'm a Legend Tonight is the only one I actively seek out and listen to on a semi-regular basis, where I'm like, all right, that's an awesome song. Nowhere
Mostly
to
forgotten, except not by us, because...
I remember everything!
Exactly. Down on Your Knees, there is no reason to ever listen to that song ever in your life.
Thank you. And the reason why I only like put that a little higher is because I read a review of like, why am I listening to this song? And someone said, oh, they really like brought forward Eric Carr's drumming abilities on this one. It's like, oh, well, I do like Eric Carr.
Right, but he's good on the other tracks too. I think he's better on I'm a Legend Tonight and Partners in Crime, personally. Partners in Crime, you know, nice groove and interesting lyrics. At least it has that going for it, where there was some creativity in the lyrical content, and then Nowhere to Run. It's hard to rag on a musician going full emotion, even if they don't really succeed. You got to give them points for just putting their heart out there. But yeah, there is no reason to listen to Down on Your Knees. That song does suck.
Thank you. Sorry, guys.
All right, I'm done talking about this crappy song.
But really, we know that Sure Know Something's the best track on this disc. Well, that is our episode. Thank you so much for joining us. Darren, where can we find you on the internet?
Hanging out with you guys. Just segue right on over. That's it. You can find me as friends on your friend list.
All right. And we are... And we're Lipstick. Find us on lipstickgeneration.com. If you're listening to this podcast, you already know where to find it. That's our episode. Sorry for a meh episode about a meh album. We'll see you next week. I mean, I'm going to edit all this out.
Your face is gonna edit all of this out.
Edit her out.
All right, so can you repeat your question?
Thank God for the Irish.